It's been 3 months now that I've had the Even Realities G1 AR smart glasses, and I have some thoughts about them and an update as well. And today we're going to get into it. Before we start though, a couple things. On this channel we talk about tech from an intentional living and minimalist perspective. We also talk about tech from an experiential point of view, more so than a spec point of view, if that makes sense. So if that sounds cool to you, please consider subscribing and like this video for more. I also want to give a special thanks to Even Realities for sending these out in the first place. And full disclosure, I was thinking about doing this update video because I have more thoughts about these and I think you all are interested in hearing how I've been using them as well. So let's dive in. This is going to be more of a casual conversation today. They've come a long way with what these are able to do. It's still mind-blowing even now putting these on how much, if you've ever used like VR goggles and you've done the pass-through mode and there's like screens floating in front of you compared to maybe a more virtual reality where everything's closed off and it's dark and you're seeing like a video or something, the experience of looking out into space and seeing dashboards floating is wild. And if you think of the size of MetaQuest or the Apple Vision Pro, it's clunky, right? And you've got this big thing on your face. I don't know if 9 out of 10 people would know that there's anything special about these glasses if I were to wear them in public. And the fact that these are able to give the experience of a dashboard literally floating like right here, like I feel like I can grab it. It's super cool. Now, granted, it's green, it's monochrome, right? It's just green text. It's pixelated in a way, but I think that's the font choice they chose as well. But the experience is really cool. I think what sort of got me to put these back in their case and put them on the shelf for so long was there's only so much they can do. And after a 2 or 3 week span of using them, asking AI some fun, quirky things and making little notes here and there gets old. In a way, it doesn't get old, but it's not as exciting. So something I said in my first review of these was I felt like answering text messages would be a very easy thing for these to do because there are microphones, it's able to take notes, you're able to ask AI questions. Why can't I get a text message that comes in? Why can't I read it, tap and hold, and answer that text message? I think that would be like the biggest way I would use these, right? And I think most people would probably use them that way, but they just don't have that functionality. And so there was a lack of functionality there with these. All that said, Even Realities just made an announcement in October that they are actually opening these up to be open source for app developers. Now, many of you are probably like me and you don't know or care what it means that the software is now open source to developers and you don't know how that benefits you as a use case. So I'm actually going to kick this over to my buddy Mike, who works here in the studio with us, and let him explain what it means that these are now open source for app developers to make use of them.
My name is Mike Childress. I'm a developer and I've actually developed a lot of apps. That's why I was pretty excited to hear about this really cool thing that they're doing with these glasses. The fact that they're opening up and making the code open source, which basically means they're making it available to anyone who wants it. So a lot of times companies will be like gatekeepers with their code and their software, and you're only limited to what the company wants to develop and what they think is a good idea, which oftentimes can be fine. I think it's a very innovative and cool idea that they have decided to make this open source, meaning developers, people like me, nerds, not you have to do that, but people like me can have a great idea and create something that these glasses can do. And they've built so much additional stuff into the hardware of these. There's microphones, there's antennas, there's a bunch of really cool stuff that somebody like me can take advantage of to make these glasses do so much more than maybe a company would normally do. But something else that's really smart that they've done is they've made it so that they work off of iOS, so like Apple phones or Android apps, so that these developments have to go through the app development store. And having developed a number of apps myself, I know how incredibly serious it is and how many things you have to do to be able to pass through all the checks and the balances and the security of those things. I think it's really cool how they've opened up innovation for anybody to do something with these glasses, but at the same time, they have put a lot of checks and balances to make sure that it's being used responsibly and appropriately. And aside from that, I just think these are some of the best looking versions of these glasses that I've seen around. I've seen a lot, and I don't know, I think they're doing a lot of things right. I'll kick it back to Spencer.
So big thanks to Mike. Hopefully he was able to explain it a little bit better to you all. I think from like an experiential perspective, it just means that these are going to, in theory, be able to do more, because we're going to have app developers be able to add apps. It's possible these could have games in them at some point, or you can respond to texts or see more detailed views of what the weather is like. In theory, it's not going to solely rely on the company, Even Realities, who have limited resources, to create software updates for these. There's going to be just more possibility when you open it up to these app developers and let them get their hands on it, let them test it, let them use the different features and controls and sensors and microphones like Mike was saying. That, to me, is very exciting, and it should be very exciting to you as well. Even if you don't understand what all it means to have something open source, just know that it's going to add functionality to these in a quicker pace than the company could probably do on their own. It also creates a community around these and what they're able to do, which is also super exciting, because then there's just more interest in the product and what it's able to do. And as Even Realities innovates on the hardware, there can also be a community alongside them innovating on the software. So super exciting stuff. I think what's most impressive is how Even Realities is listening to its consumer base. It's understanding like, wow, people really wanted this to be open source. Let's figure out how to do that and do that the right way, so it's not super messy as well, which is super cool. And also on the hardware side, they actually just released a brand new style of the G1s, which is the G1B, I think, which is more of a rectangular style. These are obviously more circular, and they don't fit everyone's faces like with this style. So they're working on coming out with different styles and shapes for their glasses as well. So there's going to be more options for people to use these. But that's the gist and what I wanted to make a video about today on Even Realities G1 and just the company in general. I think it's exciting, these updates. I think it's got me excited for the company again. I can't wait for app developers to start releasing apps for this and get to try this stuff out. I'm super excited for it. So yeah, special thanks to Mike for giving a little bit more insight into this open source deal that's going on with these glasses. Special thanks to Even Realities for working with me on this video and videos in the past, and hopefully videos in the future. Special thanks to you all for watching this video. And if you want to pick your Even Realities G1A or B up, you can down in the description down below. I'm not entirely sure if they have like Black Friday deals running, but worth a check. And that's gonna do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, like this video for more, watch this video next. I think you're gonna love it. And I'll see you guys next time.